Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Cinema Savvy. And we're back with our final genre quiz. It won't be our last quiz, but we're going to tease more of what's to come and the future of the quizzes and everything like that at the end of the video. So make sure you stick around for that. But as you can see from the very nice graphic, and I can actually point in the correct direction this time, it's a comic book movie quiz. And this is going to encompass everything. We're not just limiting it to Marvel or just DC, which are kind of the two big hitters. This is everything. So you're going to see Dark Horse in there. You might have some Watchmen questions. You might have some films that you don't even realize are comic book films, but we've gone broad with this one. And we'll keep rolling until we get some people in, but we've got Marco in the comments already, but this is going to be a good one. This is one that I think me and you both, we're both comic book fans, comic book movie fans. So this was a very, very fun one to put together this week.
Yeah, comic movies are something that, YouTube really wasn't a thing 10 years ago, but you said 10 years ago that, there's going to be enough comic movies for everyone in the world to do their own quiz. It's kind of like there's like 8 that have come out, and we've reached this point over the last year where everyone has, not even last year, sorry, the last few years, that it's big enough to be its own genre. You've got R-rated films, you've got like 12A, you've got PG, you've got animated films, you've got Oscar-winning films, you've got the highest grossing film in history. It's basically defied the noughties, not naughty, sorry, the sort of the last decade, the tens, the same way that the Westerns dominated the 60s, and everyone said it's going to die out, and it never did. And there's right now, there's no signs of it dying out. We all have said stuff over the years that we thought, next year could be the last year, and who knows? Right now, we've had the end of Endgame and all that sort of stuff, but I'm looking forward to this one.
And now we're getting like 10 Disney Plus shows as well, so whether that's going to be the nail in the coffin, we don't know. Oh wow, we've got Emily in the comments, we've got Brinsley. we've already got some shit talking going on in the comments. This is good. This is what we like to see. Keep it going in. And actually, before we begin, I guess I'm going to have to do the Tate thing this week. We don't have Tate with us on tonight, as you can very well see, but we're going to man the fort. We're going to do the best job that we can. Make sure you hit that like button and get subscribing. I want to see, as Tate would say, the same amount of likes on this video as the people that we've got in right now. So it doesn't take 2 seconds. We're not getting into the quiz just yet. This is just the intro. So just do that. It does help support the channel. And if you enjoy what you see, show the support. I am going to do... There you go. Those are all the socials as well at the bottom of the screen. Right. That's formalities out of the way.
And giving us an extra minute, I'm going to say to everyone before we start this quiz, if you still haven't got your pens and paper, this Saturday, the 4th of July, it's not just Trimdependence Day or Independence Day or the shops opening. It is the finale that we've all been waiting for, the drink along to Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, the final of the prequel trilogy, our final Star Wars drink along at this point in time. But we have been putting rules across social media. We've got a couple more coming out. Well, actually, one will come out during this show. We're going to get some more tomorrow. There's some stuff coming out on Saturday. So if you want to, you don't have to drink. You can just watch the film with us. But we all know it's the funnest film of the 12 to watch. So that's going to be absolute carnage. And we have a fair few things in there. So I think that is enough time. I'm going to have a massive revelation as well. I'm going to go over the rules as I always do. But this week, I actually made a graphic. And in true comic book form, I have put it in Comic Sans. So it actually looks abysmal. So if you guys look at the screen now, no, that doesn't work. It's a background. I've already messed this one up. So that's quite funny, actually. So round 1 is general knowledge. You are going to get 1 point per correct answer. There's going to be 10 questions in this one. And that could be anything from, talking about behind the scenes to a film to a character, anything like that. It's just 1 point per correct question. Round number 2 is the hardest round that we always talk about. It is the soundtrack round. So we will ask you a question. It will be about anything to do with soundtracks. It could be about score, songs appearing in films, music notes, motifs, Oscars, anything. So keep an eye out for that. And round 3 is the quotes round. So in the quotes round, all you have to do, we're going to read out a quote in our normal voices. You need to guess the character and then guess the film from this. You get 2 points for this one. I actually have the graphic now. So 1 point for the correct answer of the film, 1 point for the correct answer of the character. Round 4 similar process. This is the photo round. So for the round 4 and 5, we'll put photos up. We're going to put a photo of a character from a comic book film. You need to guess the name of the character and the name of the film. Now, obviously, some of these franchises have like 23 films in them, 25 films, 27 films, 30 films. There's a lot of these bloody films. And we need you to put the specific film. How many Batman films have there been? You can't just put, hypothetically, if it's a photo from the Tim Burton Batman, well, technically it would be Batman, wouldn't it? But you know what I mean. If it's from a sequel, you're not going to get a point if you put Spider-Man 1 and it was from Spider-Man 3. So you need to be careful in that sense. And the final round, round 5, is the poster round. And we will upload a photo on the screen. That's going to have a cropped out portion of the film poster. You just need to guess the poster. I keep laughing because there's been a blunder, but you guys don't know what that blunder is yet. I think Chris has clocked onto it.
I clocked it straight away, but it's fine. We'll throw them a bone. So out of 70 points in total, we're going to get onto round 1 now because I think people are probably getting restless and want to get straight into this quiz. So let's do it. Emily already says, "I'll be highly disappointed if you don't do accents." Oh, we'll be doing accents. We'll give it our best shot.
Though. No singing.
No, thank God this week. Yeah. Right. Okay. Round 1, general knowledge. So as you just did on the graphic, this is 1 point per correct question. 10 questions coming up right now. So we'll get into it. Question number 1. How many comic book movies has Zack Snyder directed, not including Justice League? So question 1, how many comic book movies has Zack Snyder directed, not including Justice League? We didn't want to get into that whole debacle of Justice League, of who's directing what. Is it Joss Whedon? Is it, release the Snyder cut and everything? So get that one out there. How many has he done?
I don't mind some of his films. Actually, no, I won't lie. I quite like a fair few of them, except Justice League. We'll find out next year. Is the hype worth it? Great video on the channel with you and Smo. We'll plug that right now while we can. Discussion on the Snyder Cut, so everyone check that out if you do want to know more about it. The protest that happened, not really a protest as such, more a campaign, I guess, is a fair way of saying it. So yeah. Okay,
question 2. How many films have been released? Sorry. How many films have been released in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to date? This is, by the way, this isn't including Black Widow because that technically hasn't been released. That we're not counting that one. So everything that has come beforehand, how many films have been released in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to date? I mean, if COVID hadn't have happened, we would have had Black Widow. We would have had a very different score for this one. But
only one Marvel film out this year in total. It's like 2008 all over again.
Yeah, they need to take a break for a little bit before they start bringing 4 movies out a year and like 6 TV shows. It's going to be a nightmare. Okay, question 3. Where did Mark Millar and Matthew Vaughn come up with the idea for Kingsman? Was it A, a flight to LA from London, B, drinking at a pub, or C, at the Skyfall premiere? So that's, where did Mark Millar and Matthew Vaughn come up with the idea for Kingsman? Was it A, a flight to LA from London, B, drinking at a pub, or C, at the Skyfall premiere? We've already got our first joke answer of the day with regards to question number 2. Brinsley says, 1 million. Certainly feels like it. We can definitely say that it's double digits. Okay, question 4. Which other Marvel Comics character is referenced in Spider-Man 2 by J. Jonah Jameson? That's question 4. Which other Marvel Comics character is referenced in Spider-Man 2 by J. Jonah Jameson? This goes without saying. This is the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2, the one and only Spider-Man trilogy, in my opinion. But
it's really sad that we've reached this point where Star Wars became the originals after 16 years, 20 years, 30 years, the originals. Spider-Man had to be called the original trilogy after less than 10. The original Spider-Man, you know how depressing that is? You know how old that makes me feel? The original Spider-Man trilogy, no, it's the trilogy. I'm going to become like that person when I'm older.
It is definitely Spider-Man. Yeah. Hopefully much more Spider-Man content to follow, hopefully at some point on the channel. Question 5. Which Norse god created the mask that Jim Carrey wears in The Mask? It's question 5. Which Norse god created the mask that Jim Carrey wears in The Mask?
We have our first pro Tobey Maguire comment of the day, courtesy of my sister. As you can tell in my household, that Tobey Maguire is the only Spider-Man that counts.
Okay, question number 6. Thanos acquired 6 Infinity Stones: the Space Stone, the Reality Stone, Power, Mind, and Time. But what was the 6th? So Thanos acquired 6 Infinity Stones: the Space Stone, the Reality Stone, Power, Mind, and Time. What was the 6th? I think that's a memory game more than anything, to just like get all the names down of the ones that I read out.
I had this idea that I should have just brought the gauntlet down to count them off one by one, but I don't know if that would have given anything away because it's just up there in the wardrobe and it's just too much effort.
Oh, we have tension in the ranks. Marco has just is he stirring things up, or is that legit?
I don't know. I mean, I know he's watching the Liverpool game too, so maybe he's looked at them and thought, maybe I can make a mistake and I misspelled Tobey Maguire because he's watching a football game whilst doing this. He's really good at multitasking.
Question 7. Chris Evans is most famous for his role of Steve Rogers / Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but who was the first Marvel character he played in his career? So that's question 7. Chris Evans is most famous for his role of Steve Rogers / Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but who was the first Marvel character he played in his career? I've been trying to think if that's happened before. I'm sure it, I know that between DC and Marvel, it certainly has. You had Ben Affleck as Daredevil and then was Batman, but in the same comics community, I don't know if that's happened before.
J. Jonah, maybe Alfred. I don't know if they count because it's the same actors in the same roles.
Yeah, I mean, two completely
outright,
different characters, maybe. It's probably happened. Yeah.
Probably more X-Men to MCU, maybe. Maybe more X-Men, not necessarily same franchise.
Brinsley's just thrown in another for your consideration.
Andrew Garfield was clearly the most Spider-Man. I'd give him second best out of 3. So I felt a bit bad for him. In all honesty, he was okay in this suit. I just hated his Peter Parker.
Okay, question 8.
He was joking. Sorry.
I just saw that. That was a nice save, Brinsley. Okay, question 8. Which of these Batman villains has not yet featured in a live-action DC feature film? Is it A, Deathstroke, B, Talia al Ghul, or C, Phantasm? So that's question 8. Which of these Batman villains has not yet featured in a live-action DC feature film? Is that A, Deathstroke, B, Talia al Ghul, or C, Phantasm?
And we have a Tom Holland getting the bin.
Here's going to be where someone says, like, the voice actor of Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man, and we technically can't argue with that.
It's the one of 2 Spider-Man films to win an Oscar.
Don't you forget it. Question 9. Ghost in the Shell was adapted first as an animated film in 1995 and again as a live-action film in 2017. Who played the lead character Motoko in the live-action remake? So that's question 9. Ghost in the Shell was adapted first as an animated film in 1995 and again as a live-action film in 2017. Who played the lead character of Motoko in the live-action remake?
And that's our first manga question of the day. We cater for all countries' comics.
So you brought that up when you were sort of, because you did put the majority of the questions together for this thing, and you were saying that, do we include manga? And I was like, well, manga is technically Japanese comic books, so we didn't want to excise anything out of this thing. We're including it. It technically counts as a comic book, and that is a comic book adaptation. And finally, question 10. Where is General Zod, Ursa, and Non exiled to at the start of Superman the movie? That's question 10. Where is General Zod, Ursa, and Non exiled to at the start of Superman the movie? Okay, so give everyone a couple of seconds on that one. Then I'm going to read through them very, very quickly just to recap in case anyone missed any of them. Okay, so question 1 was, how many comic book movies has Zack Snyder directed, not including Justice League? Question 2, how many films have been released in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to date? 3, where did Mark Miller and Matthew Vaughn come up with the idea for Kingsman? Was it A, A Flight to LA from London, B, Drinking at a Pub, or C, at the Skyfall premiere? 4. Which other Marvel Comics character is referenced in Spider-Man 2 by J. Jonah Jameson? Question 5. Which Norse god created the mask that Jim Carrey wears in The Mask? Question 6. Thanos acquired 6 Infinity Stones, the Space Stone, the Reality Stone, Power, Mind, and Time. But what was the 6th stone? 7. Chris Evans is most famous for his role of Steve Rogers and Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but who was the first Marvel character he played in his career? Question 8. Which of these Batman villains has not yet featured in a live-action DC feature film? Is it A, Deathstroke, B, Talia al Ghul, or C, Phantasm? Question 9. Ghost in the Shell was adapted first as an animated film in 1995 and again as a live-action film in 2017, but who played the lead character of Motoko in the live-action remake? And finally, question 10. Where is General Zod, Ursa, and Non exiled to at the start of Superman the movie? Okay, if anyone wants me to read any specific ones out, I think everyone should be fine. I think we went through those at a good pace. But if you do want me to repeat any, just let us know in the comments and we'll go back through as we get ready to move into our next round.
Yes, so I'll give them all a couple more seconds. For those that don't know, we will read out the answers at the end of round 3 for the first 3 rounds. So round 2 is the soundtrack round. Everyone's favorite, probably a little bit easier than the musicals because it was all the same sort of thing. But I'm going to read the 10. So, soundtrack round. Question number 1, 1 point per correct answer. Question 1: what was the first comic book movie to have won Best Original Score at the Oscars? So that's what was the first comic book movie to have won Best Original Score at the Oscars?
And this was actually a last-minute change. Well, I think it had to be reworded slightly, didn't it? Because we discovered that there has been a few more since then.
It was caught myself out. I think that's probably the best way of putting it, which is quite funny actually because I love both these soundtracks.
But we have checked all of these questions now, so
yes, there won't be legally blonde.
Smooth sailing.
No legally blonde tobacco, guys. Don't worry. If you were here last week, you'll know exactly what we mean. And we don't have Sarah commenting today, so maybe she had enough. Who knows? But anyway, moving on. Question number 2: who has composed the most soundtracks for comic book films? Is it A, John Williams, B, Hans Zimmer, or C, Michael Giacchino? So that's who has composed the most soundtracks for comic book films? A, John Williams, B, Hans Zimmer, or C, Michael Giacchino?
It's like the triple whammy, isn't it? We always see these composers crop up. They're like the most famous 3, hands down.
They're like a little trinity of themselves. You've got like Williams, I think, still at probably the top of history and everything. Then you've got Zimmer, who's like he's up there next to him, but he's his own style. And then you've got Giacchino, who like is like the young John Williams still to this day. The young John Williams, but it's not really, that's not a criticism. That's literally he will make music like that, and that's why Rogue One's got an insanely good soundtrack. Moving on, so question number 3: what Prince song is played in the museum scene in Batman 1989? So the first Batman film, the first Tim Burton film from 1989. What Prince song is played in the museum scene? I don't really know if it's a giveaway, but if you don't know the scene, it's the scene of the Joker entering the museum, not the museum scene from the start of Batman and Robin.
If you want to immediately date that film, you just look at the soundtrack, don't you? Instantly, just make Prince do the entire soundtrack for the film. I'm not complaining; it works, but it's very much of its time.
The music video is excellent as well. Question number 4. We're getting modern here. Boss Bitch was created for Birds of Prey. Name the singer of the song. So it is the song Boss Bitch. It was created for Birds of Prey. Name the singer. I surprisingly know this one because apparently 1 in 2 people use it on TikTok and had no knowledge that I don't use TikTok, but and you just see them everywhere. I
don't know this one. This one, I wouldn't even. I just leave it blank and move on to the next question. I don't listen to modern music, unfortunately, or the charts or whatever. Wherever this song is, I've even seen the film. it was so memorable. I don't even remember this song. So,
Question 5. What is the name of Scott Pilgrim's band in Scott Pilgrim versus the World? Just to double check that's the name of the film. So, what is the name of Scott Pilgrim's band? Again, was this? I know it's an American comic, but it was kind of manga more so than direct comics, wasn't it?
I can't remember if it was a manga or not, but it was definitely done in that kind of style. I've seen what the character looks like and everything like that, and I'm sure it does have a following. But what did you think of the film, Scott Pilgrim? I wasn't a big fan of it
the first time, and I quite enjoyed it the second. But I'm not in this. I know it's a big cult film for a lot of people. I'm not there. I love the soundtrack. I got the soundtrack on vinyl, but wasn't totally blown away. But it improved a lot more. It's 10th anniversary, which is crazy this year. Question number 6. Which classic 80s song was used throughout the trailer for Wonder Woman 1984? So that's which classic 1980s song was used throughout the trailer for Wonder Woman 1984?
It was like an epic remix of it, but yeah, I love this. Is one of my favorite trailers to come out in the last few years, and it's probably all completely down to this song. As Emily says in the comments, she knows me too well. It's all about the 80s, absolutely. So that's quite good timing that we got an 80s question in there right after.
We've also been offered £1 to sing the chorus of Jewel of the Fate. So maybe on Saturday.
£1?
We do it for free, to be fair.
Oh, God, a drunken chorus. I'm down for that. Well, we'll get it, won't we, in episode 3? So,
question number 7. Which Frank Sinatra song does Arthur Fleck sing to himself at the end of Joker? That's question number 7. Which Frank Sinatra song does Arthur Fleck sing to himself at the end of Joker?
What a film, though, right? Joker. This is just so good. I'm glad that it got the Oscar attention as well.
I liked it. I saw it 5 times at the cinema, actually. It was a very interesting watch with a big crowd, especially on the scene with the door.
Especially because I was the only person laughing at the cinema at my screening at that scene.
I think it was split into. You had a lot of people watching it for the second time, and a lot of those people were laughing because they knew what was coming, and then the other half of the people were absolutely terrified because they didn't know what was going to happen. Question number 8. Which AC/DC song is played at the beginning of the first Iron Man film? Technically, the first film in the MCU. Which AC/DC song is played at the beginning of Iron Man? I might be right in saying that this song plays when it's a black screen too.
No, so I think it fades in onto like the desert, doesn't it? Because he's going into, is it like Afghanistan or somewhere, and then it kicks in there when they're driving. So, and then Iron Man 3 broke the tradition of not including an AC/DC song in the film, and it killed me. And it's yeah,
right. In Guardians of the Galaxy, question 9, sorry guys. In Guardians of the Galaxy, does the Chain by Fleetwood Mac appear on the Awesome Mix Volume 1 or on the Awesome Mix Volume 2? So that's his little cassette player. He gets 2 of them across 2 films. In Guardians of the Galaxy, does the Chain by Fleetwood Mac appear on the Awesome Mix Volume 1 or the Awesome Mix Volume 2?
And the soundtrack's so good they had to release it on cassette tape in real life as well.
I have them up there. I remember we made a fatal mistake. We got it on release day, put it in the cassette player downstairs, and it mangled it because we've got an 80s cassette player, and obviously it was a modern cassette tape.
Right.
So we had to get another one the next day, which was really sad, and it's never been took out of the box. It's going to stay there. But yeah, it brought the Walkmans go for tons off probably on eBay now because of that film too. Question number 10. Which superhero listens to Time in the Bottle by Jim Croce during an action scene in X-Men Days of Future Past? So it's which superhero listens to Time in the Bottle by Jim Croce during an action scene in X-Men Days of Future Past? And that's our first X-Men question.
That's probably one of the best scenes in certainly one of the most memorable scenes from that film, which unfortunately they then tried to capture the magic from in subsequent X-Men films, and just bigger isn't always better, and it just didn't have the same impact.
Don't worry, guys. New Mutants is coming out soon for the 3rd year running.
Hasn't really been, it feels like it, if it hasn't been already.
I think it was 2017 it was meant to come out. I might be wrong. Probably 18. Who knows?
I feel bad for the director of that film. I really do. But
Right, guys, I'm going to quickly go through the 10 again for you very quickly. So, question 1. What was the first comic book movie to have won Best Original Score at the Oscars? Question number 2. Who has composed the most soundtracks for comic book films? Is it A. John Williams, B. Hans Zimmer, C. Michael Giacchino? Question number 3. What Prince song is played in the museum scene in Batman 1989? Question 4. Boss Bitch was created for Birds of Prey. Name the singer. Question 5. What is the name of Scott Pilgrim's band? Question 6. Which classic 80s song was used throughout the trailer for Wonder Woman 1984? Question 7. Which Frank Sinatra song does Arthur Fleck sing to himself at the end of Joker? Question 8. Which AC/DC song is played at the beginning of Iron Man? And question 9. In Guardians of the Galaxy, does The Chain by Fleetwood Mac appear on the Awesome Mix Volume 1 or the Awesome Mix Volume 2? And question 10. Which superhero listens to Time in a Bottle by Jim Croce during an action scene in X-Men Days of Future Past?
Awesome. Right. We'll give people a couple of minutes on that one. And then, so we're going to go over to over the answers of the previous 2 rounds after we finish this next round, round 3, which is the quotes round. I won't be reading them in the voices. Well, we won't be reading them in the voices as I'm reading the questions out. That will be when we give the answers. So make sure you stick around for that if you're looking for a bit of entertainment this evening. That, man, I bet you were so glad you didn't have to be a part of the whole singing one last week.
I mean, you know me well. You know that even if I was asked, I just wouldn't have done it. I don't mind doing the quotes for tonight because there's some of these I'm looking forward to doing. I don't do voice acting or anything like that, so they're going to probably sound all awful, but that's the fun.
It's part of the charm, isn't it? It's part of the charm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We haven't had any. Emily's wanting that. You'll get the voices. You'll get the voices. As I said, you just need to wait a little bit longer for them. I haven't seen any messages at the moment, so I think we'll crack straight on with quotes round. So this is 2 points. This one. So I'm going to read a movie quote out, as was explained at the beginning. You need to write down the character that says that quote and the film that quote is from as well. So 2 points per question. 10 questions again. Here we go. So this is very difficult to not read them in the voices straight away. Question 1. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. That's question 1. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
And we have Sarah in the comments. Just call up.
Fashionably late. Good to see you, Sarah. Okay, question 2. Prepare for a bitter harvest. Winter has come at last. It's question 2. Prepare for a bitter harvest. Winter has come at last. There is a clue in that one. So if you're not sure, take a wild stab in the dark at it. Question 3. Piss off ghost. That's it. 3 words. Question 3. Piss off ghost. I didn't know that one. So, but hopefully you do at home. But don't share the answers in the comments. Question 4. Life's a bitch, now so am I. Question 4. Life's a bitch, now so am I. Question 5. He doesn't want to be famous, then I'll make him infamous. I can't say that with a straight face. Question 5. He doesn't want to be famous, then I'll make him infamous. I think Brinsley knows what's up with question 3.
It's really hard to listen to them. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Question 6. People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people. It's question 6. People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people. I don't know what to say in between, so I'll go on to question 7. Question 7. His name should be Ass Kick instead. It's question 7. His name should be Ass Kick instead. And I mean, if that's not a clue for at least one of the answers, then what planet are you on?
We're almost there. We're almost at the fun one.
Question 8. Victims, aren't we all? Question 8. Victims, aren't we all? That one's probably a bit tough, actually.
I have seen this film. You showed it to me. There's a clue many years ago. For those
Back in the day, yeah. Now we just have the luxury of watching things whenever we want to watch them, which is quite nice. Question 9. That's a lovely, lovely voice. I'm sure people can't say the same about mine. Question 9. That's a lovely, lovely voice. Don't worry, George. You'll get your chance at that one in a minute. And question 10. All that for a drop of blood. Question 10. All of that for a drop of blood. So I'm going to read through those again very, very quickly. Remember, 2 points, get the character and the film. Question 1. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. Question 2. Prepare for a bitter harvest. Winter has come at last. Question 3. Piss off, ghost. Question 4. Life's a bitch, now so am I. Question 5. He doesn't want to be famous, then I'll make him infamous. Question 6. People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people. 7. His name should be Ass Kick instead. Question 8. Victims, aren't we all? Number 9. That's a lovely, lovely voice. And question 10. All of that for a drop of blood. So if anyone wants me to go through any of those, because I know that you got to be quite quick to write both of them down, especially if you're thinking, I will repeat them out before we go into the answers for all the previous 3 rounds.
But yeah, that's rounds 1 to 3 done. Bit quicker tonight than last week. No singing, no long. I think, to be fair, you guys had the really long question about the three favorite things. Don't know.
And I've got to take credit for that one. I kind of regret putting that question in when I realised how many answers there were. But we don't have to sing any of the answers today, thank God.
No, but there is singing involved in one of the quotes, but a different kind of sing. But anyway, I think we've given them all enough time. Should we start going through the answers for round number 1?
Yep, let's do it. So do you want me to give the answers for...
Yeah, do you want to do round 1? You do 1, I'll do 2, then we'll share 3.
Okay, so going back to round 1 then, this was the general knowledge round. So question 1 was, how many comic book movies has Zack Snyder directed, not including Justice League? And the answer's 4. He has done 300, Watchmen, Man of Steel, and Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. And I remember the days where I liked those first 2, and then the comic book movies just sort of, for me at least, dropped off at the DCEU, but I don't want to piss off any DC fans.
Haven't seen Watchmen TV series yet. It's meant to be really good.
No, I still need to watch that. I've heard mixed things, though, but I will give it a shot, I think. Question 2. Now, this is one we were laughing at because this George accidentally did let this slip. He recovered nicely, but I think the damage was done. Question 2. How many films have been released in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to date? This isn't including Black Widow. The answer's 23. Or what was it? Or 25? Or
25,
30?
27, 30. Just get it higher and higher.
The answer's 23. So you did get a clue there, guys. Question 3 was, where did Mark Miller and Matthew Vaughn come up with the idea for Kingsman? It was a multiple choice. And the answer is B, drinking at a pub. I think the Skyfall in there was a very nice red herring. That's the one that I went for. But it is B, drinking at a pub. I guess if you've seen the movie, I think the pub does feature quite heavily in it. So maybe that was some inspiration there from it. Question 4. Which other Marvel Comics character is referenced in Spider-Man 2 by J. Jonah Jameson? It is now the sequel that the director's working on. It is Doctor Strange. So it's quite a nice turn of events that it's all happened like that.
That's the way to get Toby back in the MCU. But then you get a flashback to when J. Jones says Doctor Strange Mantis taken, and then he's going to come through a portal.
It's all part of the plan.
Then he's going to bring Jameson into Endgame via the special editions like what George Lucas did.
I need it in my life. Question 5. Which Norse god created the mask that Jim Carrey wears in The Mask? This is a nice kind of subtle crossover. It's Loki. It said he goes to a psychiatrist in the movie and he says that the mask was created by Loki. Okay, question 6 was Thanos acquired 6 Infinity Stones: the Space Stone, Reality, Power, Mind, and Time. What was the 6th stone? It's the Soul Stone. It's probably the main memorable one from the film, I would say, with the death of Gamora. Question 7. Chris Evans is most famous for his role of Steve Rogers / Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but who was the first Marvel character he played in his career? We will accept either the Human Torch or Johnny Storm from the first two. I have to say the first two now. The first two Fantastic Four movies, which I enjoyed growing up. They came out sort of early to mid 2000s. They were fine for what they are, but obviously we have had some much better comic book movies since then. And some much worse ones as well, looking at the other Fantastic Four movie that came out. Question 8. Which of these Batman villains has not yet featured in a live-action DC feature film? Again, this was multiple choice. The answer is C, Phantasm, which is only at the moment featured in the animated film Mask of the Phantasm. Deathstroke featured in a post-credit scene of Justice League. It counts.
He will prominently be in the Snyder Cut, apparently.
Oh, okay. Okay, apparently. Well, it'll be another Sam Raimi crossover there with Flash Thompson. Yeah. And Talia al Ghul was obviously in at the end of Dark Knight Rises. Spoiler alert. Question 9. Ghost in the Shell was adapted first as an animated film in 1995 and again as a live-action film in 2017. Who played the lead character of Motoko in the live-action remake? It's Scarlett Johansson. She likes comic book movies. All the money that comes from them.
And massively criticised for this one as well, like many others. I'm not seeing it, not seeing the original, but I get why people would have been angry.
I know you don't like your anime, and I'm kind of on the same boat. Like, it takes a good, but I love the original film. I didn't mind the live action one. I thought as a film it was fine, but it's that classic case where they try and cram so much into it and don't really stick the landing. Question 10. Where is General Zod, Ursa, and Non exiled to at the start of Superman the movie? It's the Phantom Zone. I guess there is kind of a link there with Man of Steel as well, with General Zod and the Phantom Zone. But Superman the movie, the first one that came out, it is the Phantom Zone. And that is all your answers for round 1.
Yep, so we've got a couple of comments. And we put the Suicide Stone. We've been pretty deep for a Marvel film to have had a stone like that. And Sarah, can I get a point for Flame Man?
No, no. We're not allowing it. I do like that Emily for the stones put the Suicide Stone. I mean, she ain't wrong. I mean, you are. Like, you don't give yourself the point, but
technically, though, Sky Hansen does.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different conversation. Moving on to the soundtrack round. So, answers. Question 1. What was the first comic movie to have won Best Original Score at the Oscars? It was Black Panther. Score by Ludwig Göransson. Not that you needed to know that, but what you do need to know is that he's doing the soundtrack to Tenet next month, which is far more important.
We've heard a bit of it from the prologue.
Yeah, if you're lucky enough to see the prologue, you know, there are other ways than being at the IMAX for Star Wars, but there were other ways. Anyway, question number 2. Who has composed the most soundtracks for comic book films? The answer is Hans Zimmer. B. He composed 7. Michael Giacchino composed 4, and John Williams has only composed 2, which surprised even me.
And Hans Zimmer famously on record saying, after Amazing Spider-Man 2, he's done with comic book films, never again. He's retiring from comic book movies. And he comes back with, which ones has he done since then? Wonder Woman 2?
Wonder Woman 2, X-Men Phoenix.
There you go, yeah.
Giacchino's going to leapfrog him in a couple of years, guys. So this will be updated in 3 years when he's done Batman, Spider-Man 3, Doctor Strange 2, and it goes on and on. But anyway, question number 3. What Prince song is played in the museum scene in Batman 1989? That is the song Party Man. Probably my favourite scene from that entire film, actually.
Same, yeah.
I like that film a lot more as I've grown older.
That was one that I always used to rewind on VHS as a kid and just keep watching that scene again and again.
There's a brilliant quote on a YouTube comment. It's like, if I ever had a friend called Lawrence, I would only be friends with him so he could put the song on. Question 4. Boss Bitch was created for Birds of Prey. Name the singer. She is called Doja Cat. Doja Cat. We're not judging you on your spelling, but it's all over. You guys will probably recognize the song. It's been bigger outside of Birds of Prey. Question 5. What is the name of Scott Pilgrim's band? It is Sex Bob-omb. Actually got a pretty good soundtrack. Question 6. Which classic 80s song was used throughout the trailer for Wonder Woman 1984? That was Blue Monday. It's a very good remix. I think the moment that trailer started, everyone was probably... It was the moment they get the bullets and the action in time with the beat. That's when you know that, okay, they've actually done this quite well.
I know it's not unheard of with like trailers to time things to music, especially. I know that Suicide Squad did it as well, didn't it, with Bohemian Rhapsody? But there's something so satisfying about the Wonder Woman 2 one.
I think it's when she hits it with the wrist, the bullet back at them, isn't it? Question 7. Which Frank Sinatra song does Arthur Fleck sing to himself at the end of Joker? It's That's Life. Surely most people have got this one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he says it to himself, sings it to himself, and then it plays out loud for when he's running down the corridor. Question 8. Which AC/DC song is played at the beginning of Iron Man 2008? It's Back in Black. If you put Shoot to Thrill, you're thinking of Iron Man 2.
And if you're thinking of Iron Man 3, not that it's an AC/DC song, you're thinking of Blue Dabba Dee. I thought I walked into the wrong cinema screening when I got in for that. I was like, is this Iron Man? I mean, it's Paramount, because it opened with the Paramount logo back then, didn't it, with Iron Man, which kind of threw me. So
I did like the blues song, though, I can't lie. Mm-hmm. Question 9. In Guardians of the Galaxy, does the Chain by Fleetwood Mac appear on the Awesome Mix Volume 1 or Awesome Mix Volume 2? It was on the Awesome Mix Volume 2. It plays in the second film. And for those F1 fans, the Chain is obviously the unofficial F1 theme, and it's back on Sunday. So I'm very excited for that. Question 10. Which superhero listens to Time in a Bottle during an action scene in X-Men Days of Future Past? It was Quicksilver. The one that's wearing all the silver clothes as well. Not that they needed to reinforce that point. And have silver hair too, didn't they?
It was weird how they... that's the one hero that's kind of blended between... both
all of them,
continuities, I guess you'd say, or whatever. Yeah,
they weren't allowed to call him Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, so
we couldn't call him a mutant, and we couldn't say that he was the son of Magneto. But then I've heard now that, well, obviously they can now. They've got the rights, and I've heard they're going to try and do something. I don't know what they're doing. It seems like everyone's doing multiverses at the minute, and it's just kind of getting crazy.
It's like something Bruce Wayne did. I just bought the rights. Speaking of Bruce Wayne, I'm getting nervous because we're on round 3. My heart's...
It's all in the lips, George. It's all in the lips. You got it.
Right. So, how do you take them this? Do you read it out in their voice and then give the answer?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you're at first, mate. So
I got myself on the internet, not for the first time. So, question 1 was I can't do it. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. It's Batman from Batman Begins. It's really hard with headphones on because for those watching, Batman Begins, he has a very different Bat voice to Dark Knight. My original idea was to come out here and just do it in the Dark Knight voice, but that just didn't work, and I think the whole house would hear it. But
I actually prefer his Bat voice in Begins. That's my favorite Bat voice, and then it kind of got a little bit out of hand. Oh God, okay. Okay, I just have to warm up to it. Prepare for a bitter harvest. Winter has come at last. Not great. Not my finest, Arnie. That's Mr. Freeze or Victor Freeze, either one. Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin. If you tuned in for our watch along, I don't think anyone did, but if you did, you would know where that's from. So,
is that the 4th quiz Schwarzenegger's got himself into? The quiz,
I think so, and quite rightly so. If we can find a way to get him into any more future quizzes, we absolutely will do. And Henrik has just joined the chat just at the right time when we're embarrassing ourselves by doing these impressions.
Right, question 3, nice and short. It's piss off Ghost. It's Korg from Thor Ragnarok, and I really can't do a New Zealand accent. I can only say quotes from What We Do in the Shadows.
Or Tamara Morrison. Yeah, Bubba.
Yeah, Bubba. Yup.
Oh God, I can't do this next one. Maybe if I somehow had a leather jumpsuit, I could try and pull it off. Right? Okay. Was it Life's a bitch? Now so am I. It's Catwoman from Batman Returns. I can't do that one, but yeah.
We're gonna bring an icon for question number 5. It's none other than he doesn't want to be famous. Now make him infamous.
Nice.
J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man 1. Not 2, not 3. Spider-Man 1, guys. That was I had to try the pen thing. I don't have a cigar.
give yourself a bonus point if you remember to put the hyphen in between Spider and Man. I'm kidding. No bonus points. Okay, this is just... People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people. I can't do it. It's Hugo Weaving. It's V from V for Vendetta.
This is a hard one. It's channeling your inner Nicolas Cage, sir. His name should be Ass Kick instead. That's Big Daddy from Kick-Ass, who basically is Adam West Batman.
I'll say the Hyuk wasn't part of the quote,
Yeah.
but you have to put it in there, don't you? You have to.
It was too easy to put Hit Girl quote in. It was come on you know.
I am very much looking forward to question 9. I've got to get this one out of the way first. I can't even do this. I've got ones that don't, apart from Arnie, don't have really a voice to do. What is it? He has like a knife. He's like, victims, aren't we all? And then boom, stabs the guy. That is Eric Draven or the Crow from The Crow. That's kind of a double one. Maybe I shouldn't have put that one in there, but the Crow from The Crow, essentially.
Question 9. That's a lovely, lovely voice. I can't do it. I can't.
You need to copyright it. That's a lovely voice.
That's a lovely, lovely voice.
There you go. You got it.
That's Bane from The Dark Knight Rises, if you guys didn't already get that. As you can tell, voice isn't my forte. Except Star Wars Episode 3.
Oh yeah, don't you worry, my friend. We're gonna do that.
We'll announce that at the end of round 3. We'll announce that bit at the end of round 3.
Okay, right. Deep voice. All of that for a drop of blood. That's Thanos from Infinity War or Avengers Infinity War.
So
done.
That's the first 3 rounds. That was a lot harder than I thought it would be. It's leaning towards the microphone.
We don't rehearse these, guys. This is all completely improv off the cuff.
It's the hardest one was on the Batman from Batman Begins. I think I told you the other day. And was like, when I rewatched it, I realized when he says "do," his whole mouth like swivels into like a curl, and it's really hard to now not laugh whenever he says it.
He's got a mouth like a Cheerio, like.
But no, they're the first rounds. If you guys have totted up your scores, let us know because we are heading into the photo rounds. So, no, before we get to the photo rounds, we'll advertise what we just said for this drink along. So. As you guys are all aware, first we'll drop the social medias. We've got Twitter at cinema_savvy, Instagram cinema_savvy, and just easy on Facebook at cinema savvy. Find us on there. We've been posting the rules, 2 rules a day for Saturday's drink along. We'll post obviously the full list as well. We'll get the stream all set reminders tonight. Obviously, Revenge of the Sith is this legendary film, and we've sat here embarrassing ourselves with voices we can't do. Well, sometimes there's better things you can do than voices. It's recite an entire script. We're not reciting an entire script because it would go on for too long. But me, Chris, and Tate will be reciting essentially the script up until from the moment Padme and Anakin meet on Mustafar. Tate will be playing the role of Padme. Chris will be playing the role of Anakin Skywalker. I am playing the role of one Obi-Wan Kenobi. And no script for us. We are going to recite every line intact with the film up until, I guess, not necessarily the ending, but the ending of the duel. You know, the speech. I hate.
Anakin sets on fire. Probably.
Yeah, literally. So there's a good 10 minutes there, and obviously it's a drinking rule. There's drinks. Anytime we're talking and we miss a potential drinking rule, we note it down to take sips after. So it could get painful.
We will be smashed by that point, but our knowledge of Star Wars burns deep, which again we'll announce something that will put that to the test next week. So we're going to be absolutely fine, but it's going to be good fun. If you've tuned into any of our other drunk watch-alongs, you know that it's a really good atmosphere. We always have a laugh on it, but this one is one that we've been looking forward to for quite a while. Well, since we did Phantom Menace, really, isn't it? Let's be honest. We wanted to get to Revenge of the Sith, so please do tune in for that. That's going to be 8 p.m. UK time. On Saturday, if you're not doing anything Saturday, I know that the pub's open and everything. If you're still staying in, it's as good a place as any to join us. So please do join us for that one. It's going to be some good fun.
And if you haven't seen it, there is an amazing meme trailer that Chris edited on our channel.
George's idea. I edited it together with our powers combined. Go watch it.
It's the original teaser trailer, and everything has been replaced by a meme. So if you're not excited, watch that, please. Anyway, we need to carry on a comic book movie quiz. So we're heading on to round 4, which is the photo round, guys. So normally for this, we are going to upload a photo on the screen. It will be up for 20 seconds. You just simply need to guess, or not guess, put down the name of the character. And it needs to be the character, not the actor for this one. And the name of the film, same rules as before. If it's from a sequel, you need to put down the name of the sequel, etc., etc. You'll get 20 seconds for the 10 questions, and then it'll be a 10-second throwback to the beginning. So this is going to be quite fun, actually, because we've picked some potentially harder ones than we usually go for. So, guys, if you're ready, round 4. Question number 1. Name the film and the character.
We've had a couple of scores come in so far. Emily says she's on the mega high score of 9, and we've got Brinsley at 22. Still waiting on other scores at the moment, but
I'm intrigued. I'm quite disappointed, I won't lie. But question number 2. God, because we all love this film, don't we?
The most memorable character whose entire backstory is summed up in one sentence.
Sorry, I was trying to spit my drink out laughing then. It's the delivery of said sentence.
I know, it's awful.
Question number 3.
It's been a while since I've seen this movie. I only watched it the once. Very strange, very weird film.
Yeah, it's got a very big cult following. I understand why. Not my favorite. However, talking of favorites, let's go to something at the opposite end of the spectrum. Name the character in the film.
Giamatti.
We did technically discuss him, right, on a live stream recently.
Yeah,
about how he plays the same character in everything. Not this film. I'll give him that. Not this one.
I just want to do the accent. I can't do it.
Question 5. The central character, guys. I know some of you could probably name the one on the right, and it's not the guy from Get Out. It is, but that's not the answer. I think that's a nice, easy one.
Probably one of the better villains as well in the MCU.
Marvel. Question 6. Marvel hit a weird stride where they had rubbish villains for like 9 years, and then they kind of had a couple of good ones sort of almost back to back to back, depending on how people want to rank villains and whatnot. But this is not villain. This is an iconic character, to say the least.
This is one of my favorite characters.
Question number 8.
Oh, I forgot we had this one in there.
One of the most underrated films. If this had the technology Mandalorian did, the TV series will be incredible, and that's the biggest giveaway I can afford to do. Question 9. The best thing about the photo rounds, I can't read the comments, so I get to like binge read them all, and I'm trying to figure out what points people were missing. And we have the sorry, this is question 9. So the previous one was question 8.
No, I think that was it, wasn't it?
Nah, because there's been 9 that have come up, guys.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna when I go through it, guys, you need to pay attention to this because this is question number 10.
Okay.
Yeah, almost caught myself out. Right, we'll go through them and we'll say each one again so you're all fully aware, just in case we've made it confusing because we had a late change. Right, so that was the 10 questions. I'm going to quickly go back to the very beginning, and we're going to go through them once more. You'll get 10 seconds for each of these, and we'll specifically say what question number it is so you guys aren't mixed up. So, question number 1. Question number 2. Question number 3. Question number 4. Question number 5. Question number 6. Question number 7.
Right, that's where it is.
Yeah. Question number 8. It's the silence because we don't want to mess this up again. Question number 9.
Okay, we got it.
Yeah. And question number 10.
Okay, we've had I think Hennick's been the only one who's been commenting during that, so I think that everyone's concentrating very difficult, very hard. Let us know how you think you did in that round. We're going to be moving on to our final round now, which again is the second picture round. It's the poster round, so 1 point per correct question for this one. You've just got to guess the name of the film, essentially.
Yeah, so we've got a Photoshop on the screen, and you're going to get 20 seconds, exact same as the first one. So let's get straight. Question number 1. Which film is this poster from? I think this is an easy one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a humongous clue.
Sarah just said she did crap in that round 4. Well, hopefully you do better in this one. See how you go on this one.
Question number 2. I think this was a lot easier than it looked when I was on Photoshop.
Yeah, that's quite difficult now, isn't it? That one, I suppose.
Question number 3. I don't know if this one's going to be too hard or not.
No, I
think you can get it.
Yeah.
I think we've got maybe the hardest one coming next, guys. So brace yourself if you haven't already got it. Question number 4. There's a massive clue. That if you know it, then you're going to get this. If you don't, I don't think you're going to get anything near it.
I always keep forgetting that this movie was a comic book film.
Yep. Are we allowed to give what kind of comic it is as a hint, or?
I guess we can.
We can say, in theory, it's manga. So you guys can have that. Question number 5. This actually the easiest one on the quiz, I think.
Yeah. Such an iconic moment, though. I remember the trailer and especially the scene in the film as well.
And it's a great film.
Those are the good old days.
Question number 6. I think this is easy, and I've not seen this. I have seen a film similar to it, if that's a giveaway in itself.
Oh, I still haven't. I've still dodged it at the moment, but.
And here's one I haven't seen, but I know enough about. Question number 7. And the editing went a bit weird. It's randomly curled around. Looks like some wrapping paper. Big clue there, though, I think.
It's stylistically designed to be that way.
Question number 8.
Oh, boy.
Do you remember when the early 2010s, when every film had to have a beam in the sky?
Beam in the sky, yeah.
What started it? What was it?
I always thought it was Return of the King, but I think I actually saw a movie. Oh no, I think Hocus Pocus, the movie, the Disney film from like the 90s in '93, that had a beam in the sky. I don't know if it was the first one, but
the outright every film did it for about 3-4 years.
Oh god, yeah. Like every Transformers movie, Man of Steel, Watchmen. God, that's just to name a few. There's probably loads more. Skyline, was that another one?
Question 10, last one, guys. This might be another harder one, maybe.
There's some clues in there.
So that is the first 10. We'll quickly go through them again. You're going to get 10 seconds. We'll go through each of them for you guys because we didn't mess this round one up. So, question 1.
I've just noticed we do have tiebreaker questions as well this time. We came prepared this week.
Question 2.
Last week was a very nail-biter. Yeah, it was a nail-biting finale at the end with two tiebreakers. So
And no one got Bill Gates from South Park. Which
shocking.
I understand why, but it was like it just showed how little I knew about musicals. This is question 4 for those at home. Question 5. I must give that one away then. Question 6.
Yep, SeaWorld Man's congratulated you on your photoshopping skills. They're very good. They're very clever.
I appreciate that. Not to say that they're all in a rush after work. We got everything done early this week. I think that's fair to say.
We were on it this week. No last minute. Well, I guess there was a last minute edition, wasn't there? That was on me, but
the core, nothing has changed drastically. We've got a big schedule, guys, and Tenet's ruined it. There's a bit behind the scenes for you. Question 9.
Brinsley said he's done very well on this round. The only one he's struggling with is this one. So hopefully he gets it now he's seen it again.
And question 10. See, guys, the key is if you're going to be bad at one round, you want the bad round to be 1 point per correct answer, not the 2. And that is the 10. That is rounds 1 through to 5 done. A bit quicker tonight. There are 2 of us, which naturally 2 people talking rather than 3 does build things quicker. Anyway, so we're going to bring it back to round 4. Firstly, should we give everyone a couple of seconds if they need anything else?
We'll give them a little bit. Yeah, any repetitions or anything, if you want us to go over any, let us know now.
And we'll go through the rounds after, guys, and then we will announce, I guess, next Thursday. Obviously, there'll be a lot more stuff on social media after, but do stick around because we need to kind of explain this once, which we don't normally have to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the questions and answers to round number 4. Do you want to go through the answers to this if I bring them up?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got question number 1. That is Lucius Fox from The Dark Knight. I didn't know where this one was going to be, actually. I didn't know if you're going to go Begins on this one, but this is The Dark Knight. Obviously, you've got the background there, which gives that away. Question 2, the infamous Katana from Suicide Squad. The nothing character that she is. I mean, on paper, she's a cool character, but I would like to have seen more of her. Maybe that's in the release the Aya cut, right? This is question 3. This is Marv from Sin City. Not much else to say about that. It's a movie that I've seen once. I remember Elijah Wood being very weird in the movie.
Mm-hmm. And question 4, have you seen this film once?
I have, yeah. I have only seen it once. Although, courtesy of you buying me Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 on DVD for my birthday that one year, this is Rhino from Amazing Spider-Man 2, whose more or less all of his footage was shown in all the subsequent trailers, I think, to the movie.
Was he in the first and final, 30 seconds, and that was it?
Yeah.
And he was on every trailer.
The final shot of the movie was in the trailer. It was hilarious. This is question 5. This is Killmonger from Black Panther.
We're not doing bonus points, but if you know his Wakandan name, please comment it. Because I'm just curious. I don't think anyone will. Because you will know T'Challa, which is obviously Black Panther. Anyway.
Question 6 is Rorschach from Watchmen. He's one of my favorite characters. But yeah, might have to get round to finally watching the TV show.
Question 7.
Right, question 7. It's a good thing that I know this one. This is Mama from Dredd. That's M-A-M-A. The one and only Lena Headey. Love that woman. Yes, even when she's got a massive scar across her face and she looks absolutely terrifying.
Spoiler alert, Game of Thrones didn't do it justice. Quickly moving on. Question number 8. Question
number 8 is King Leonidas from 300. We've got a lot of love for Snyder in this one.
I think he's done a decent amount. Genre-wise, he's covered so many different films, fair play, in that sense.
This is question number 9. This is Bullseye from Daredevil. The quiz would be a miss if he wasn't in there, so we had to get him in there.
Question number 10.
And question 10 was the very last-minute edition. It is Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, but we will accept the point if you've just put Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And not the Michael Bay reboot, which wasn't actually Michael Bay, but pretty much was.
Shredder was in that movie, but he looked like Megatron. It was Michael Bay's fingerprints were all over that movie.
So let's go through round 5 very quickly. So we have right here question number 1. Sorry, guys, I'm just loading the poster up. What film is this from? This was from the animated film Batman: The Killing Joke. Didn't see that. Very disappointing, but the problem is that it was a short comic anyway.
I'll say the last half hour was very good, where it's just adapting the actual Killing Joke. But
question 2: if you don't know, this is the Wolverine. We will accept Wolverine 2, but not Logan. You don't get it if you put Logan. Sorry, guys, because it's not. This one's as good though. The extended R-rated cut is something worth seeking if you can.
I still need to see that. I haven't seen the R-rated version yet.
It's such a good film. Lots of foreshadowing. Question number 3 is the unfortunately going to another X-Men character. This is the poster for Deadpool 2. Many people will know here that I'm not a fan at all of. Ironically, fan of the comics, not a fan of the films, and I'm probably the only person in the world. So, very strange. Question number 4. This is Old Boy. Very, very, very famous film. If you haven't seen it, I recommend seeing it. You will throw up maybe once, possibly twice. Such a good film. And now, obviously, with Parasite, a lot of people are starting to visit foreign language films a bit more. So I'm not going to lie, I haven't seen too many, but this is one I'd really go. This inspired a lot of action films that followed, especially the Hamilton.
Really messed up film.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
Not the Josh Brolin remake.
Yes. Yeah.
Which somehow Spike Lee's involved in. Anyway, question number 5. What film is this poster from? This is the classic Spider-Man 3. We literally put his hand in there with the color web, so you would have known surely that was the third one. Massively underrated film, unfortunately. Question number 6 is Hellboy, the original Hellboy film.
So I actually just saw that, and for a moment when I was doing it, I was playing along with myself. That sounds so wrong. I was playing the quiz here, and I thought it was Van Helsing. He's kind of got the duster jacket going on with the gun, and then I realised, oh yeah, it's Hellboy, isn't it?
All I remember is the Spider-Man 2 DVD that had the Hellboy trailer on.
For
many years. Question 7. This is Blades. I've never seen any of these, and they're meant to be great.
I'm going to say exactly the same. I've heard Blade 1 and 2 are very good. 3 I've heard is awful, as is usually the way, because as X-Men Apocalypse told us, the third one's always the worst one, right? So.
And he did make a cameo in What We Do in the Shadows as Blade.
But now we've got oh god, who's playing him now?
Mahershala Ali.
That's it. Thank you.
Is very exciting. He approached Marvel saying he wanted to do a Blade film, and they commissioned it because he asked. I like that. I think he would do a great job. Speaking of films that we don't like, number 8 is a big clue: green sky, green shoulder. It's Green Lantern. Ryan Reynolds can make as many jokes as he wants about how bad it is. He still was in it. You can't hide that.
Heard rumors. Well, I mean, we hear a lot of rumors with movies, don't we? But they want to put him into Justice League. This Green Lantern, not rebooted Green Lantern. This Green Lantern. So
maybe in the Joss Whedon version. Hashtag release the Whedon cut. Question number 9, maybe the hardest one in the quiz, I would say, because Road to Perdition. I've not seen this. It is a comic book film that is actually an Oscar-y film that isn't based off the normal stuff. Because it came out at a point when comic book films weren't big, it didn't market itself as a comic book film. It marked itself as an Oscar film. So
this is where you say it's a graphic novel film rather than a comic book. I mean, it is technically still a comic book film, graphic novel, whatever. It's a fantastic movie, but it is one of those films where you just see it as like you don't even remember that it's a graphic novel or anything like that.
Question number 10 is the one and only Howard the Duck.
It's George Lucas's greatest accomplishment in filmmaking right here.
I don't want to say stuff that's not true, but didn't he finance this off the back of trying to pay for Lucas Ranch when he built it? Something to do with that there was a lot of financials involved. And I mean, if you didn't get it with the Indiana Jones font, that it's a Lucas film. Yeah, I've not seen this, but he did appear not just in Guardians of the Galaxy, but he also appeared in Endgame.
Endgame, yeah, he did.
He was there in the final battle. His status at this point in time is unknown. Imagine a scene where Thanos just got the Power Stone, just punched him.
I guess we'll have to wait till Guardians 3, won't we, and see if he comes back. Or maybe when they run out of ideas, we'll get a TV show.
But no, guys, that has been the quiz. So, Brinsley's already in now. I got 4 marks for round 5. That's a nice 10.
We might be able to claw it back then. Let's get some points then. Let's see who's winning. If we need to go to the tiebreaker questions, we have three very nice questions.
So while we're waiting for you guys to count them up, shall we talk about next Thursday?
Let's do it. So there will be
how do we describe it? There's a quiz, but it's not this kind of quiz, and you're all fully involved in it still. We're doing something a bit different. We're going to get competitive. So obviously, I've done Cinema Savvy with you, and not you and Chris, you and Tate for 5 years. Obviously, I did the Star Wars channel for it as well. One to the Force, if anyone's seen that. It's featured on our channel. We've had Phil and Dave on a fair few times over the years, mainly for like Star Wars Battle of the Brackets and stuff. So we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to do a quiz which is essentially Cinema Savvy versus Ones of the Force. Now you're all thinking, oh, George is on both, so he's neutral. Nope. I am on hashtag Team Chris. We'll have our own name, Coleman Treeballs Army or something like that. I don't know. But essentially what's going to happen next Thursday, Tate is going to be hosting with JX, who comments on one of our videos. Many of you will know him. He tends to do the funny answers. And him and Tate have come up with some questions. Me, Chris, Phil, and Dave do not know any of these questions. We know how many rounds there are. We know there'll be 66 questions in total because, order 66. And it's essentially going to be a head-to-head night. So we're not going to unveil the rounds for you guys yet. We're going to keep that a surprise. But next Thursday, at the usual time of 8:30 p.m., we're going to have a quiz. You can join in at home. It's just going to have a bit more of a competitive edge. And I'm going to politely say that we expect the questions to be harder than what they have been for these quizzes. I don't know how that's going to throw people.
We won't know until the day, but we have gone in with the one stipulation that they have to be difficult Star Wars questions. We want to make it competitive. We want to make it tough. But yeah, it's going to be very, very competitive. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be something a little bit different. It's going to break these up a little bit as well, the quizzes that we do on the channel. But moving forward after that, and I don't want to go too far into the schedule and everything like that. If you guys like these quizzes and we like making them, and we know that we get, a few people tune in and they enjoy it. If you want to see us do more of these quizzes, we will do. We did want to maybe not do them every single week, but every now and then. We have got some ideas for some other quizzes, but we will probably be moving away from the very broad genre ones like this. We'll probably go into more specific ones. If you guys want to see more quizzes, please do let us know. As I said, support the channel, subscribe, all that stuff, and let us know through comments. We've got some ideas, possibly like a Harry Potter one, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. We can get more specific with them now.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. Like, we like doing these. It's a lot of fun for us. Coming up with them is as fun as answering them. So I want you guys to comment ones you'd want to see, just because we know, like Chris said, there's big franchises. We are kind of done with genre. We wouldn't rule anything out. As you guys know, when we do Battle of the Brackets, we like to time it around not necessarily real life events, but we try to make it contextual. If we're building up to something, the likelihood is we'll do a Battle of the Brackets. We could do a quiz. We can do special videos. We've done retrospectives in the past. So there is a lot that we can do. And obviously we want you guys to comment, let us know some of your favorite franchises. Obviously we're not going to rule out doing genres again, but we feel the core ones have been done. But obviously we're going to have a meeting on Saturday. I think that's I'm happy to say some behind the scenes stuff. We're going to have a meeting on Saturday to go over the forthcoming plan. And when we have that, I'm guessing we'll probably do some form of announcement video for upcoming things. But obviously as a kind of broaden across the 8 weeks we've been doing these quizzes, it's been a lot of fun. We had some teething problems in week 1 and it was hard. And then obviously we've built around it. And it's been real fun. So massive thanks to everyone that's been watching these, commenting with us. We've already got people before we get to the answers, we're going to read out some of the comments. Sarah's already put Harry Potter, please. The fantasy quiz, we just wanted to keep it in Gordo Lockhart in there. If there was a Harry Potter quiz, we could do our own round dedicated to his tales. Who knows? And that's the other thing. Next week with Star Wars, guys, not everything we do is going to be the normal 5 rounds. We can't really do a poster round for Star Wars because we all know the films. So there's going to be different rounds, and it would differentiate for each different quiz we do. For example, if there's Lord of the Rings round, I'm not going to lie, Chris is going to be the go-to for that because he can say things like harder than I can about Lord of the Rings. So that's just a gist of where we're at. Obviously, join us this Saturday for the stream, for the drink along. We will hopefully have a bit of an update for you there. But while we're doing this, we're going to go over some questions and some results. So Emily scored 15.
Well done, Emily.
Swiftly moving on. Disappointed our family. Sarah Matthews scored 31 because she joined very late. That's fair play. Well played, Sarah. Has Brinsley actually commented? Has Brinsley given his score?
Brinsley.
No.
No, come on, Brinsley. What did you get?
Brinsley has scored 49 out of 70. Very well played. However, we do have a walkaway winner, equaling last week's score. Mm-hmm. Marco scored 61 out of 70. Considering he's also watching the Liverpool game, mad respect for listening to both, although I do believe Liverpool are losing 4-0. So, yeah, sorry, Marco. Unless you're not watching, I've just ruined it for you. But you are the champions from a week ago, so do enjoy your celebrations, and I'll see you next week. But anyway, not talking football, we're going to kind of do an outro thing. Chris, I'm going to
an outro thing, right? Okay. Well, once again, make sure you tune in. Well, not make sure, you can if you want, but we are doing the Revenge of the Sith drink along this Saturday, 8 p.m. It's going to be good fun. So if you like your Star Wars, if you want to see us get drunk, and if you especially want to see us quote along at the end of the movie with Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme, please do tune in for that. As I'm just going to bring up the socials one last time. Make sure you follow us on there. You're going to get a complete set of drinking rules on there, which are being distributed the last couple of days and to the end of the week. Look out for our trailer on there as well, and obviously follow on there for all updates regarding the channel, what videos we've got coming up, and certain themed months coming up as well. I will say that
Tenet, Nolan, yes. Nothing's announced yet, but you know,
videos
in that film, things happen in the future that are happening now. So August the 12th at this, you know, guys, if you really want some gossip, it's the nearer we've got to the Tenet release date, the further it's actually gone away from us.
It's all part of the plan. It's
all
part of the plan.
It's sad times, but we're not far away, guys. So any big announcements, we'll do them as usual. But I think we'll be obviously join us next Thursday for the Star Wars quiz. It's going to be very different. We're not sure how it's going to go, so we hope it's good fun for you guys watching at home. But we're going to get very competitive. And you've not seen, obviously, if you've seen Battle of the Brackets, you'll know. Me and Chris kind of laugh and have a joke. We're not overly competitive as such. I think next week's going to be
next week. Oh yeah.
It's going to be it's going to be
fire and blood next week. Absolutely. So tune in for that. Tune in this weekend. We've got a load of videos coming out, lots of ideas and stuff. So do hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, get commenting, all that good stuff. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in tonight. You've been absolute team players, and it's always good to do these quizzes. And we'll see you on the next video. See you guys.